Hello, and welcome to another exciting edition of Hidden in the Universal Vault. I'm Ron, your host, and I'm welcoming you to my review of 2005's Cry Wolf. This is a slasher movie released by Rogue Pictures, which is a subdivision of Focus Features. I forgot to mention that Focus Features made their own subdivision company, which is Rogue Pictures. So this is actually a slasher movie. It was directed by Jeff Wydlow. I'm hoping to pronounce that right. I think I pronounced that right. This movie has Julianne Moore, Liddy Booth, Jared Pacala, and John Bon Jovi. Yes, Bon Jovi himself, the singer. So this is a movie. Now, before I go ahead and talk about my thoughts with the movie, there is a short film on the DVD. I believe it was called Manual Labor. Now, I did not rate that movie, but if you want to see what I did rate it, head over to my Letterboxd right now. I did rate the movie before I started this. So I watched the short film that it was based on, and it's okay. It's not very good. It's a short film about a married couple, his wife's having a baby, and it's about a Chrysler car. I forgot to mention that the short actually, on the back of DVD, it says it's a Chrysler $1 Million Film Festival winner. That's what the short film won. And the director who went to USC, he got invited to Cannes Film Festival, and Chrysler liked the movie so much, they gave him the job as a director, and that was made in 2002, hence Cry Wolf was made in 2005. Whew, that's a lot. So after all that spiel that I talked about, let's talk about Cry Wolf, because, yeah, let's talk about this. So I'm going to read you the plot on the back of DVD. When the students are progressive, prestigious prep school, spared a email hoax about a serial killer, they start a game of terror and deception that has 3 rules: avoid suspension, lie to your friends, and eliminate your enemies. But what starts as a joke soon turns deadly, and now they find themselves victim of their own game. So yeah, this is a slasher movie. Think of it as Unfriended before Unfriended. And I'm going to tell you right now, this is a much better movie than Unfriended. Unfriended was it was not that good of a movie. It had characters that made no sense of what it is, and it dealt with social media rather than giving us a good story, and I kept getting headaches watching that movie. Same thing with Hardcore Henry, which is the same, I think it's Hardcore Henry or Hardcore Harry, one of the two, something like that. This movie deals with an email, similar, like I said, but I think it's dealt better. It's not headache inducing, I'll give you that. I'm actually interacting with what the movie is. So, at the beginning of the film, I did watch a commentary. At the beginning of the film, the director said he was inspired by 28 Days Later, where this kid ends up in the school. So they do this game, and yeah, it basically follows that formula, and that's really what this is about. So what did I think of the movie? Really a pretty good movie. I was not sure where this was going to go towards, but I'll explain that when I rate the movie. But I want to talk about the performances. Bunch of unknowns. Like, I don't know who Julianne Moore is. I know who Liddy Booth was. Her previous film for Universal was a little-known film called the remake to 2004's Dawn of the Dead, which I didn't even know that. Nowadays, Liddy Booth would now have a career on the Hallmark Channel doing Hallmark TV movies. So that's Liddy Booth. I like her character a lot. I can't think of her character's name, but I think I like her performance in that as well. Also, yeah, and it's just she's really good in this. And at first, I was not sure if this was going to be any good. I felt it just was flat. But the idea of they wanted to do the Boy Who Cried Wolf, and they play this game to decide who is the boy and who is the wolf. So they put money on the table to decide who is that. So now they come up with the idea of this imaginary stalker, that not stalker, but an imaginary slasher. We do not know who this character is. It could be anybody that plays this game. Also, I like the fact that they use the email, and a lot of people know who Jared Packaden, and he would later go on to star in the TV series Supernatural, and he would go on to portray Cordell Walker in the Walker Texas Ranger reboot, Walker, for the CW network. So that's, he's not bad in this. I never watched Supernatural, so I don't know, but he was also in House of Wax, which came out the same year this did, the remake. So, he's really good. Though the one scene I did like the most, and it's interesting, although I call these kids idiots for doing, there's a scene where Liddy Booth's character, she's lap swimming. So, Jared, and I forget his character's name, so Jared Packaden, his character, he's mentioning that they're typing, they think it's imaginary. It's like, oh, she's probably typing in the computer in the swim team's office. So now we see her go for a swim, and the two idiots decide to throw blocks of ice cubes in there to basically try to distract. So what happens now is she pretends she's conked in head and looks like she's drowning. So one of the two, they don't know who's going to go in water save her. So the main character, they both hesitate, but the guy jumps right in the water and saves her. But turns out it was just a prank to get them to stop doing that. That's one scene. Let's talk about the killer. The main killer, we don't know who it is. Now, there's also a teacher in this played by Bon Jovi. I'm just going to say Bon Jovi, not John Bon Jovi, even though that's his name. But Bon Jovi plays the teacher. So now they don't know who the killer is. And it's sort of like plays with your brain. It's sort of the whole, I hate to say this again, but I like to call it the pendulum swings. Is he the killer? Is he the killer? Maybe she's the killer. Maybe she's the killer. So they come up with the idea of a plot to see who the killer is, and we don't know. So it turns out the killer, they actually believe it's true. It's a email hoax done wrong. So we don't know. Also, his father's played by none other than Bill Lumbergh himself, Gary Cole, who puts on this British accent, which is a bit distracting, but keep in mind, the main lead in this is British, so they decided to have them speak in a British accent. Yeah, it's just my phone ringing. Like, it's vibrating right now. But anyways, back to Cry Wolf. So he's sort of like a senator, but yeah, I'm not going to give away how it ends, but basically it's a sort of like, it's like one of those choose your adventure games, kind of like those type of books. Like, it's sort of like a choose your adventure / hidden objects. It's trying to make you think of who the killer is. My only big problem with this movie is probably the only actor I didn't think that was good as an actor was indeed Bon Jovi. Bon Jovi, I'm not a big Bon Jovi fan. I don't like his singing, but his acting, wooden and stilted. It was an interesting attempt to see him try to be an actor, but like most musicians that try to get into acting, it doesn't work. So that's my only complaint. You could have took the Bon Jovi character out. He plays the teacher, and it's a prep school. Though the one scene I like where he's like, you know what? You can talk to the headmaster. And headmaster plays no game. I forget the actress who plays the headmaster, but she's really good. Basically, the headmaster is basically just picture the headmaster in Dead Poet Society, but a little more harsh. Not really like harsh like the headmaster in Dead Poet Society. She's more mild than that character, but I digress. I think most of this has to deal with performances, and its ending is what really, really makes this work. Right off the bat, when he's typing on the computer to the killer, I guess I'll show you on the back as an example. Here's the example of what that says. So as you know, he goes by the name of Wolf, and the back of DVD has that. So if you want to pause and read for yourself, you can. So that's really what plays in. Again, much like Unfriended did, but I feel Unfriended was just not a good movie. I never seen the sequel to that, so I can't really say if that's any better. But I will say, yes, Cry Wolf is the better movie. It is well done. It's an underappreciated slasher film. I was almost calling this mediocre, it's sort of a paint by numbers slasher, but I gotta give Rogue Pictures credit for trying something different. I saw this at my rental store, and I was like, I'll give this a rent. I never got to rent. Though, I like the fact that the DVD does not say anywhere that it's full screen, widescreen. You have to look at the spine to see if it's a full screen, widescreen. But whatever. That's minor. But I like Cry Wolf. I think it's a very enjoyable slasher movie. Its middle and ending is only why I can easily say this is a well-made modern day early to mid 2000s slasher movie. I believe 2005. At the end of the day, yeah, I say go see this. I'm gonna recommend it. Basically, it's good for what it is. I like the idea that it's a mysterious slasher that we don't know who it is. We don't know who the killer is. It's the ending that really does matter in this movie. And with a strong ending and tons of just, we don't know. It's a whodunit story. We don't know who did this. We don't know who the slasher is. It could be anybody. Like most of the time, and basically nobody wins. That's all I'm leaving it at. Basically, yeah, it's well made. I liked it. I think it's worth watching at least once. Would I watch it a second time as myself, just watching this? Maybe. It just really depends. I think it's a fun movie. This isn't it's not going to be on my best list or my honorable mentions list, but it's a well-made slasher movie, and I got to give Jeff Wiedlow credit for making a movie that he even thanked Chrysler. Without the Chrysler company and a short film, he would not be a filmmaker. He also made another movie covered on the channel, Kick-Ass 2. He also made Truth or Dare and his latest film, Imaginary. So the guys made a few horror movies, but this movie fell on their radar. So that's all I'm going to talk about Cry Wolf. I'm going to rate this right now before I make this movie way too long. This was a tough decision. I was kind of going back to 3 out of 5, 4 out of 5. When I started the movie, it was going to be a 2 out of 5. Then I changed it to 3 out of 5. Then my mind was thinking a 4 out of 5. But it came down to a 3 out of 5 or 4 out of 5. So I'm going to go ahead and make the final decision right now. I'm going to give Cry Wolf a 4 out of 5. And it's because of the middle and the ending is reason why I gave it that score. This was a tough decision. It was a tough rating to give it. I had to go back and forth between one or the other. It's kind of hard these modern slasher movies, it's kind of really hard to say what I'm going to rate it. But I did lock it in, and I locked it in. I put my chips in, locked it in, and it's going to get a 4 out of 5 for sure. So, yeah, I figured, you know, what the hey, a 4 out of 5 is fine by me. So, yeah, go check out Cry Wolf. It's definitely worthwhile film to check out. It's a bonkers movie. It doesn't take itself serious. Just go have fun. It's the spooky season, guys. And for the spooky season, I kind of had this for a while now, and I figured I wanted to check this out. And I'll tell you why again. In order to find a widescreen and full screen, you got to look at the spine right here. That's the only way you're going to see that it's full screen or widescreen, or the back of the DVD. It just really doesn't matter what you do. I say check this movie out for sure. Regardless, if you want to check it out for yourself, guys, go right ahead and do that. I'm not trying to make this video out long, but there's lots of things I have to talk about. So, yeah, so that's my review of Cry Wolf. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you do like the content on the channel, like, comment, subscribe, click the bell, ring the bell to get all my video notifications so you don't miss a single video on my channel. I'm also on Letterboxd, guys, so you guys can check me out there. I rate the movies before I go ahead and make the video. So, ton of content on my channel. Just stop by the channel. Let me know what you guys think of Cry Wolf. Did you guys like this movie? Did you guys hate this movie? Who knows? Let me know what you think of Cry Wolf. So, yeah, go check out Cry Wolf. Definitely something worthwhile and definitely worth watching for this spooky season. So, yeah, that's it, guys. And as always, keep watching those Universal movies, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.